Thank you. I thought I'll say a few brief words and then get Carla, who knows more about the Arts Festival, or the Real Arts Festival, and me to comment on other things, and then we'll move on to questions, and David's here in case Carla or I don't know what we're talking about. So for those of you who don't know, the Auckland Arts Festival is run by a not-for-profit charitable trust, the Auckland Festival Trust. It's got a board that has the appropriate diversity, I think, of skills and almost the diversity of people we need. We have reasonable balance in terms of gender. We have Pacific Island Maori and Indian representatives, no one yet from the Chinese community, which I think is one of the things on our list to do, an appropriate set of skills around finance, sales and marketing, legal and all the other things that we need around there. Probably more crucially, it's run for the last 4 years in a day-to-day sense by David and Carla, and behind you we have Jonathan Bielski, who is, because this is Carla's last festival, who takes over as the artistic director, and that balance between David and the artistic director is vital so that we actually get the right balance of program, and given if you looked at the money, we get about 3.3 million roughly from the from ARAFA, or from the council through ARAFA. Our box office this year, we've got a few days to go, David and I disagreeing slightly, but it'll be close to 3 million, and somewhere of about 3.3 to 3.6 million of support from other trusts, corporates in cash and in kind, international governments in kind, and Creative New Zealand, who would be the single biggest funder other than yourselves, although frankly not enough given what we produce for them. And so that balance of getting the program right, given that we start each festival at the point where we've got no sales and we've committed all the expenditure, and we would have a gap of this year $3 million, does cause the trustees to think hard, but also to rely on a very experienced management team. The staff would be very representative of the whole of Auckland. We have Pacific staff, Maori staff, not so many Pākehās, I don't think, on the staff comparatively speaking, and Asian staff, and that's important because if we're going to reach into the community and the artistic communities and get their trust and the knowledge of what we're going to put on, I think having that diversity is important. You'd be aware that, excuse me, 2016 was the first year we started running on an annual basis, and thank you for that, and with a week to go, and despite that awful weather bomb in the first week, which did not help sales either indoors or outdoors, we are going to, I think, hit the targets that we set. Roughly speaking, in the year before we went annual, we had 165,000 people to our various events. Roughly the same last year. We'll be up, I suspect, over 180,000 as long as it's fine next weekend and we get the right number of people to the free event at the museum where the Antarctica is showing around the outside. And so of the 180, roughly speaking, a bit over 70,000 would be paid and 110,000 would be free events where people have gone to all over Auckland. So, you know, the initial thought at the end of the first 2 years is that going annual has succeeded. It's reduced the amount of money as a percentage that council pays from about 44 to 45% down. I think when I was going through the figures yesterday with David during the festival, we go through them quite a lot as we watch the ticket sales, to somewhere around 36 or 37%. So in that sense, I think we were getting 4.5 million from you to put on a festival once every 2 years. It's about 6.5. If you put 2 years together, and we've over doubled the audience, so hopefully we're succeeding in giving actually a lot better value for money, and certainly it makes it a lot easier for us to keep our key staff, given that we don't have to put them off a chunk of them every second year and then rehire them in there. So at present, I'm pleased and the board is pleased as to where we're at, and Carla, perhaps you'd like to comment on some of the artistic issues.
Yeah. Kia ora koutou katoa. The festival is currently, of course, delivering. We're 2/3 of the way through the festival and we'll finish this weekend. We bring world-class events from all around the world to Auckland, unique events that would not happen at any other time. We've retained a strong focus on work by New Zealand artists across a cultural diversity, and we have a very, very strong program by Māori artists throughout the festival, both within our visual and performing arts. We present high quality work that showcases some of our communities that live here, that have come here at different times. And for an example, this year we have Rice by Cloudgate Theatre of Taiwan, which is one of the world's finest contemporary performance companies, and it certainly has had an impact for some of our communities here in the way that the pride that was expressed by the Taiwanese community here in New Zealand was enormous. The festival includes artists from Serbia, the Netherlands, France, Mexico, Canada, UK, USA, China, Korea, Germany and Australia, and of course many artists from Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're always working in partnership with Auckland's major art organisations, including the APO, NZ Opera, Atamira, ATC, Silo, the Auckland Museum, Te Tuhi in Pakaranga, and Te Urua in Titirangi. In addition, we work internationally and nationally with festivals around the country and in Australia and Asia. One of our brand new projects this year has been Whānui. It's been a community project that's reached out to diverse communities right around the city of Auckland, from Māngere to Glen Innes, Northcote, Sandringham, Henderson, North Shore and Aotearoa. Whānui invited Aucklanders to tell their stories about their place and their people. There were 5 completely different projects. There was a giant korowai in Glen Innes that told the story of housing. There was a play by the community in Māngere that was about climate change called Whanua, which was extraordinary. There was exhibitions all over Auckland in 4 different cities and including in the garden as well by 6 and 12 years old who took photographs of their place, their family, their city and their thoughts about Auckland. And that was in a paste-up campaign around the city. And we had a great Indian carnival in Sandringham on Saturday night with a runaway bride and a scene from a Bollywood movie almost. And on the end of Saturday, we ended with an MC hip-hop event in the basement, which was formed out of a basement, a tour of MCs where they went around the neighbourhoods, different neighbourhoods to meet new people, including city councillors, and which they rapped about. And it was a fantastic experience to see these people. So this was a really diverse project. Whānui has been an enormous success. It has reached out to very diverse communities, and it will have a great impact on the cultural nature of the city and in the fabric of the city. And I'm the MCs at 1 o'clock in the morning going, thank you to Auckland Arts Festival. This is the first time hip-hop has been in the festival. The programming emphasis for 2017 was on increasing our reach to all Aucklanders and the cultures living in Auckland across our city, as well as different age demographics, and to increase accessibility throughout gender, age, and different groups of people who may not have been as abled, many of whom had little experience with the arts. One of the most exciting things for me on Sunday was Raiders of the Lost Ark, which seems like a crazy thing, but it was an extraordinary performance by the APO. There were many fathers and sons there. We filled the Civic twice completely, so more than 4,000 people were there, and kids were watching as the triangle was making the sounds for Indiana Jones, or the trumpets. It was a wonderful thing to happen. We closed the festival this weekend with 3 significant events. Natalia Osipova is the world's greatest ballerina, with her husband Sergei Polunin. They are performing 3 major works, and this is a coup for Auckland to have it. The concerts are completely sold out. And we have a large-scale project, Antarctica While You Were Sleeping, which envelops the Auckland War Memorial Museum. You will be able to walk around. The entire museum will be turned into an iceberg, and there will be a sound score, so it is a complete immersive experience. And opening on Thursday is the Auckland Arts Festival commissioned opera, The Bone Feeder. This unique opera is a world premiere and a world first. It's an extraordinary opera. It features Chinese, Māori and English instruments and language. It also reflects our story and is a story of this place. I think it will be something quite special and a combined slice of our history. We still have a week to go. The audiences are loving everything from the razzle-dazzle of La Soirée to the amazing journey into the Amazon jungle of The Encounter. The kids have lapped up the urban circus of ID, and thousands of people spent a night of the arts with White Night on Saturday night throughout the entire city. And many Aucklanders discovered a little part of their city they didn't know when they journeyed through Power Plant to a part of what Auckland used to look like 200 years ago in Lovers Lane. And we believe that the audience figures will be higher this year than in previous years. We've made the festival more accessible, and thousands of school children have attended the festival at various stages. Kia ora.
David? Nothing? No?
No, I've cut him out in the interest of time.
Councillor Walker?
It isn't a question, but I'm happy to move that the report be accepted. But I think it's crucial that we move a vote of thanks to Auckland Festival, and in particular recognise the outstanding contribution of Carla.
Absolutely.
So other people may want to add to that, but that's what I'm putting on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been, sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Well, there's great things come out of Titirangi.
That's true, Ross.
Even if she comes from Titirangi.
Councillor Hills?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I hope you indulge a non-question question just for a second as well, but just want to thank you so much. It's been an amazing festival so far. I've taken friends who've never been to shows before, and they've opened their eyes, and it's been amazing. The fact we were able to sit on level 29 on a Friday night with a whole lot of hip-hop stars who I think at first were a little I think we were more threatened the other way, that we were going to be not cool enough, but it was just amazing conversations we were having about real issues in Auckland and how to put politics and hip-hop together, and we wished it never ended, but by the end of the 2 hours we were all friends and had the same opinions about things, and it was just a really fantastic thing. And the Northcote, bringing it out into the community, the kids, some of the kids I knew, so that was really cool. I didn't realise till I got there, but they are now wanting to be photographers, and they had things on show, and they get to keep the cameras and things. So really diverse amount of things going on in the city. I think it's been really well done, and thank you so much for that. So I hope you agree with that. That's my question.
I think they're working on you.
Councillor Watts?
Thank you. Just a question on the numbers, I suppose. With the annualisation of the film festival, is it anticipated that the whānui, the outreach into the community, and the number of people attending free events will continue to escalate in the fashion it's done thus far?
Absolutely. Talking on behalf of Jonathan, who's behind me, we're well in discussions about whānui, in fact, growing as we go forward. It's been a very successful program, which was initiated through support from Foundation North CNZ and our own funding, and of course that comes via council too. Highly successful, so we'll certainly be developing that program further.
Councillor Darby?
Just briefly to the motion, it's not a question, it's just an acknowledgement. This is a standout festival. I'm just knocked by some of the shows I've seen. I went and saw La Paggiato, I hope I got it right. One-off show, if you didn't see it, you missed. And boy, what a gem. I was smiling from 5 minutes in, and this was classical music, going on Baroque, going on jazz and everything else. But just one example, I'll be going to more. Rufus I'm lined up for, can't miss Rufus. But there's some absolute gems in this festival, and I take my hat off to whoever's scouring the world for the shows. They are really well selected. Thanks, guys.
Okay,
Thank you.
Perhaps I'll
I
come
would
to
say
you.
Passio last night was amazing. If anybody went to Passio in the town hall, extraordinary.
You will all be receiving an invitation from the Governor-General, who's generously offered to host a cocktail party at Government House up here to really reward those people who have backed the festival and put hands in their own pockets and say thank you to them, but also to thank Carla for her years of contribution to festivals here, Wellington, New Plymouth, across that whole period. So you should be receiving those, I think, in the next few days.
Right, well, we have two resolutions there. One is to thank all of the organisations that have presented today, plus the others from the other day, and then also just a vote of thanks specifically for Carla. And if we could all put our hands together for Carla. Fantastic contribution to the arts in Auckland. Thank you.